New York, Georgia, California, Houston, major cities across the country are announcing free money. We're talking about free money. We're not talking about money you repay back. This is free money. In some cases, it's stimulus checks just announced. State stimulus checks that have nothing to do with bad people with bad hairstyle in Washington. This is money come from your state. So ultimately, if you don't like your governor's hairstyle, you complain to them. Free money. This is free stimulus. Free rent money. In cities and states that said, we don't have any money, we've used all our money up. Guess what? We found some money. I don't know where it was. It was under someone's mattress in the governor's mansion. But we found free money. We're sending out free rent money, free utilities. What's going on? This is what I told you. December 15th. It's a use or lose date. They got to use this CARES Act 1 money, the $150 billion that was given to them. And suddenly they're realizing, we have some extra money. Got to use it. They're using it right now. And what I want you to do is get it used on you. The power of this purple and the power of this channel is ramping up as millions of viewers are realizing that cities and counties that they thought had nothing for them suddenly have a lot for them. Stimulus checks, free rent, free utilities coming from your state, plus the extension of unemployment benefits, and what about hazard pay from a national level? Meantime, as the CR negotiations continue on, will there be free stimulus grants in there in addition to a stimulus check? What about EIDL and all those other things in hazard pay? And where is your $2,400 for SSI and SSDI, that stimulus grant? Where is that going to land? I'm going to explain all this to you and make it very simple in this really shocking, bombshell, and exciting Saturday recording of Purple. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Purple, and a broadcast that focuses a lot about the free money that flows into your hands if you remain focused, and especially new state stimulus that no one thought would even exist, let alone a month ago or a few days ago. There's state stimulus checks and state free rent and free utility grants being given to everyone, whether you're on SSI or SSDI or Social Security or federal benefits, or whether your apartment is $1,800 or $800, they're giving free rent. So in this video, I want you to subscribe because no one's finding to get you money right now. This is money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, and not 5 months from now. In the recording right before this, I went over what's going on in the negotiations of the stimulus bill in Washington, which is not yet a bill, it's a CR proposal. And ultimately, that earliest receipt of money would be December approximately 20th. Well, guess what? I can get you money next week, and we're going to do this in this recording. So please subscribe and hit the alert button on the front of this channel so you get an alert when I go live or taped, and I'm doing it repeatedly ad nauseum over the weekend because things are breaking, so I don't want you to miss an announcement of a major new grant program. Also, like this video, we're ranking number 1 on a Saturday morning, which is, hey, can't be any better than that. In this video, I'll be going over why you need to remain focused because of major new free stimulus checks coming from your state. Free new rent stimulus coming from your counties, your cities, and your state. That wasn't even there a few days ago. After viewers said, I looked, there's nothing there. I followed exactly your instructions, there's nothing there. Now there is. So what's going on here? And why next week is even more exciting as one of the states, a nation's biggest states, is announcing something the entire statewide. Then I'll be turning to where all the other money is going to be landing. Is it going to be landing this month? Is it going to be landing next month? How do you apply and where do you apply for it? I'll make it very simple for you, and let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that the states are doing God's work. They are really stepping up and realizing the federal government has not taken care of you. They're really dragging their feet, and that even a week delay is not a good delay. You're on lockdown, you need money right now, and the states are saying, no, we're going to start taking care of you. So what are they doing? They're doing 3 different things, and it depends on the state. First, stimulus checks. Second, stimulus, free stimulus, but for particular things. Generally, rent is first, free rent, and then the second one's free utilities, and in some cases also free food. And then the next thing they're doing is they're giving you additional weeks of unemployment benefits because they don't want you to lose weeks of benefits. More about that in a second. So what's going on? Let me recap. New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo confirms the entire state of New York is getting a new rent stimulus check program next week. It's going to be statewide. It won't be for a particular city. Last week on Purple Power Live, we learned that NHA, a division of the New York Housing Authority for low-income renters in New York City and its boroughs, has a free rent program. A viewer got a lot of money from that as well. Go get it. Georgia, one of those states that viewers ask the question all the time. I can't find anything in Georgia. Where's anything in Georgia? On Friday, one after another county started to announce new grant free stimulus rent programs. DeKalb, if I'm pronouncing something wrong, I apologize. DeKalb, Gwinnett, Atlanta City, and a series of other counties in Georgia announced free stimulus programs for rent. What I want you to understand as I go through city to county and state to state, if you look up this news today on a Saturday, say, I don't find my county in Georgia, I only find these other three counties, stay attuned because they're really just rolling these out by the minute. And what I also want you to understand logistically is that if your county is the same population as another county that just announced free rent or free stimulus or something like that, you're likely going to have the same thing in your county because your county would have gotten the same amount of money from the federal government as the other county which just announced something. Houston, city of Houston, free new stimulus program for rent. San Diego County, new stimulus program for rent. Over in Florida, was the first county, which was the first state, which I detailed on this channel when I went live with this state stimulus about 12 days ago. Some of the counties reportedly are about to close or have closed. At the time, 12 days ago, Broward, Orange County, Miami-Dade, also Duval, and a few others all had stimulus for rent, free rent. I have been told, but I have not yet confirmed, that Broward has closed and that Miami-Dade is set to close. So please move very quickly on all of these. In the case of your counties, you can find these grant programs on the county's website. It's as simple as that. These counties across the board are announcing these incredible programs. But what's important to understand is that in some places like Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, Louisiana, viewers have gotten free rent on this channel because of religious and political community groups which are absolutely paying free stimulus rent for viewers. To find those, you go to the community page, which is youtube.com/Lalate/community, and find the volunteers list. Every few hours, I repost the volunteers. Look for the word volunteers and open the post, and you'll see 9 volunteers who know about these Kentucky, Louisiana, Alabama charities that are doing free rent programs. Next, stimulus checks. Stimulus checks are coming across the board in several states. Viewers ask me, is there a stimulus check in? And then they say the state. I don't know. Ultimately, there's so many states and so many counties, it's hard for one person to stay up to date about any of them. And in some cases, the stimulus check is coming from the county. In some cases, coming from the state. What I'm trying to empower you to do is know where to look for it. Ultimately, the best source for something so specific as your county is your local NBC, CBS, or ABC affiliate news channel in your town that will cover these things as they announce. But Colorado, $375 stimulus check to residents across the board. New Mexico, really incredible. $1,200 stimulus checks for people who have been getting unemployment benefits. Then we turn to other states like California. California has a $25,000 stimulus grant for business owners. In LA County, despite my tirades about it, there's a 40,000 or some insanely high stimulus program of free money to rich restaurant owners. Don't know why, but it's out there. Go get it if you're rich, because that's what apparently they like to do in LA, is just give people rich money. And then across other states like Alaska and Anchorage, and I think it was also Maryland, yes, it is Maryland, have also announced other stimulus programs. What's important to understand is that these things are just rolling out really quickly. So go get them. That's the first thing. The second one is what we call extended weeks of unemployment benefits. New states have now stepped up and said, you know what, December 31st is just a few days away from now, and your federal extra weeks of unemployment benefits are set to expire because the federal program expires on December 31st. We see in the CR proposals from both sides, the moderates and the Republicans, an extension of UI, unemployment benefits, and PUA till January, end of January. But the states are a little skitty about this and think that this may not get done, so some states like Hawaii are stepping up and saying, you know what, we're going to give you some extra weeks of unemployment benefits. We're going to carry you to January or to February or to March because we don't want you to run out. What I'm telling viewers, and I'm telling you right now, this is so important, is that if you're sitting back and you're in LA and you say, California doesn't have any extra weeks of unemployment benefits as of December 31st, if they don't do something in Congress, I'm out of luck. I'm out of luck. There's nothing left for me. What I want you to understand is the following. States are watching Congress like a hawk, and they're making decisions by the minute whether to do extended benefits for unemployment at the last second. And they'll likely make this decision in the next 7 days. If you don't see a deal for the CR by December 11th, you're going to see states across the board, a lot of states that can financially afford it, to step up and say, we're giving you extra weeks of unemployment benefits right now. So what you need to do is ensure that you certify for benefits every single week, because when you certify for benefits every single week, you still get the money. And what's important to understand is that if you have gone off of unemployment because you ran out of weeks, this would pick up where your weeks left off. Join me on Becoming a Mitch after this video, in which I detail more of these nuances. Next, how about that $2,400 for SSI and SSDI? Where is that stimulus relief? That, I continue to argue, or report, will be a standalone stimulus bill to itself. The reason why is Republicans and Democrats have always viewed retirement and benefits like that as a standalone bill. They've written them, and that would likely be by itself. It could be in the third stimulus package in January. I just don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be a standalone bill. Hazard pay. Yes. So let me go through the things that would be in a third stimulus package, the bill to be done in January. And these are based upon the representations of the authors. It's not based upon the representations of whether Congress will actually get them approved. I'm just telling you what they're going to try to get approved. $600 FPUC retroactive to July, $2,400 for SSI and SSDI recipients. That's $200 a month, every month until December 31st, and a 20% step-up increase approximately, and a new benchmark annually. Hazard pay, $10,000 if you work from January all the way up to 60 days after the pandemic. Calculate at $13 an hour. If you reach that threshold, you get the $10,000. If you don't, you would get the lump sum of what you're at and continue it forward. And then it would be reduced to $5,000 if you made over $100,000 in 2019. A rent grant that would pay your landlord money directly from the federal government to make sure you're up to date at the end of the eviction moratorium, which they still have not done, to ensure that you're up to date on the rent, and the landlord would not lose their property as well to foreclosure. The landlord would get their money and you would be up to date on rent. A food grant. Then we have the business grants, the CDC grant, and all those and more. Let me go through those. First, frontline workers, Uber, Lyft, nurses, doctors. A CDC grant paid to frontline workers, in addition to the hazard pay grant, that would be underwritten by the Center for Disease and Control. Then EIDL, 2 rounds of EIDL, presumably. First, an EIDL fix-it round to fix the people who applied for EIDL when my hair was a little bit more spiky in May and never got their EIDL grant because it ran out of money. Those people would be paid their money back pay, And then new EIDL applicants will be able to get their EIDL as well. Another round of PPP grants. And finally, something else I was going to say. How many grants can I keep track of in one video? Needless to say, you get the point. A lot of stuff like that, but all in January. Is there any grant type of things in this CR bill? Yeah, but it's not for us, with the exception of PPP. They want to give best restaurants owners $2 million of free money. Yeah, I'm rolling my eyes as you are. In the CR, they want to give the owners of airlines and the owners of hotels fortunes for hospitality grants. Yeah, they want to do that. I don't know if that's going to get passed, but that is one of the proposals. Needless to say, what's important to understand is that there's all this money for you to get from your city and your state and your county. So go on your city hall and your state housing authority and your county's website today and look for CARES Act 1 grants for rent, utilities, or stimulus checks. And then if you can't find it, also call your utility company today, because they may be open, all of your utility company. Ask them if they have any utility assistance. And then, if you have difficulties after looking for that, go to the volunteers. There's 9 incredible volunteers who are doing about 30 to 50 cases a day that are absolutely doing incredible work in finding you rent. Ultimately, it's important to understand the following. When we're talking about free stimulus, there usually is the case where the stimulus has to be used for a purpose. So if you're looking for stimulus just to buy a new Harley or, buy a new wig at a San Francisco hair salon, that might not be available for you. But there usually almost always is free money for utilities and is frequently a lot of free money for rent. If you have questions or comments in today's video, drop them in the comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Coming up next is Being a Mitch, in which I answer your questions about UI, PUA, and FPUC, and all other unemployment questions. Then after that, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, is a big update about check. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, a big update about check. Tune into that broadcast, because that is the one in which the stuff really generally hits the fan. It's recorded here on the West Coast at about 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And by then, we have seen the full magnitude of the news cycle on the East Coast for the stimulus check negotiations. So that's generally the broadcast with the check afternoon show that has the most updates about your check. I don't want you to miss that show. That is really one of the most important shows when it comes to check. Finally, Purple Power Live at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time or 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time is the most important show for getting this free money. This CARES Act 1 free money, this grant, the stimulus checks, all this stuff from your states. That's what I go over in that broadcast. As always, go to the channel, subscribe. Also like this video. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay in LA for more.